do it. Have fun. Party hard. Let's see. Did a little bit of sinoing in general for dreads. So they seem to have reduced the bumping. That was kind of surprising because I was actually going to spend like 30 minutes talking about bumping, and apparently we don't bump anymore. Mind-blowing, right? I feel like that might be a CC bug because you absolutely still bump on live, and I know this because I've been bumping recently. But definitely be aware of it when you sino in, especially. We don't really have the huge group that it requires. I've seen it happens with like usually about 40 plus people, which absolutely does happen. I mean, you guys drop like what, 40, 50 caps in head, probably more than that. You will bump. You guys know how to stop it now. Double click behind you. You're good. And so I'm not really going to talk a huge amount about that. We kind of got that down. If you have a micro warp drive fit and you bump, by the way, turn it on. It'll increase your mass by a little bit. Slow us down. Let's see. Next thing I want to talk about, who here knows how to use dotlan properly? Especially who here knows how to use dotlan properly in a post-PV environment, because they've kind of... It's become a little more useful, actually.
You talking about the jump navigation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I use it for my jump freighter.
Yeah, any jump freighter will know how to do this. If you have a dotlan account, they made it an account-based thing, which is really stupid, in my opinion. You have to have a dotlan jump account. I don't know how you actually get one. I think you have to pay for them or something goofy like that. But basically, there is a navigation thing where what you can do is you can actually plan out routes. Yeah, you have to be a registered user, and you can basically use the fatigue 501. What does that do? Oh, is that yours?
It's a fatigue calculator.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can use that if you want to as well. Basically, dotlan now, it's a little bit weirder to use because our jump ranges are way smaller. So what I would suggest is either get a registered account, which I don't actually know how to do that, or just sort of be aware. You can actually look at the map and figure out ways to skip large amounts of area. A good example is... I'm trying to remember what that system is. So RNF and catch to get out to high sec is, or to get out to low sec is really, really tough right now if you just do straight jumps. I'm going to link it right now, but you can actually do some kind of sneaky stuff where instead of straight jumping, you do, you know, jump, and then take a gate, and then jump again, and then take a gate. So be aware of that. I'm trying to... There's a stupid website. Does anyone know which one it is? There's one that lets you do it really easily and doesn't require you to, like, log in for it.
Are you talking about just setting up a jump navigation route?
Yeah, with the new stuff.
Yeah, I still use the dotlan thing, but I don't have an account. It's never been an issue.
But there's a way you can do it where it'll actually show gates as well.
Oh, well, okay.
Oh, I know what you mean. Was it... if Ice hadn't that feature... What was it?
Spawn, I can take the hit. I might not be able to take a lot of them, but I can take a few.
Was it ISCSC?
See, okay, so somebody's linking route. Basically, there's a way, if you register an account, what you can do is you can actually use the route tool plus a registered account plus the jump bridge network and plot routes that include jumps at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Which is incredibly amazing. In fact, I actually literally just registered for one. I'm seeing if it actually requires anything, because I don't want to be like, yeah guys, register up for this, and it's like, pay us money. Okay, so I have registered. Let me log in. I know this is super complicated stuff, guys. Feel free to shoot at each other or siege up and blap each other as you feel like it. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I'm moving. All the dreads just locked me up.
Okay, so apparently you can't anymore, because if I wanted to, I'd have to... the hell do you call it? I'd have to upload my Alliance's jump beacon network into Dotlan. And that's kind of what I expected, is that they basically were like, oh yeah, register up and then tell us exactly where all your stuff is so you can publish it on Dotlan so everybody knows. So that's not the thing. Hopefully somebody makes a tool out of it, but basically you need to just recognize when you're moving your caps that you can in fact take gates. I know that's really lame sounding. I'm going to try and find an example real quick.
Refit the paint on your mag?
Nice.
By the way, sucks to be one of you guys.
Oh, here's a really good example. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to get into Curse, into OAS or 0SHT, or oh shit, as people like to call it. Now, you could take...
Hi,
oh
Bart.
my god, I just got hit really hard. Rip. So,
So
yeah,
awesome.
there you go, DD.
What's the cooldown time on the DD?
10 minutes. I was just sitting here like, oh, I'll poke around on Dotland, and then suddenly I hear this, like, you know, the beep, and then fucking dead. I wish I was doing this on my other screen so I could show the effect of it. Well, time to go buy another Naglfar, guys. Single emo tier on CC. So an example. I'm gonna open up. Boom. So let's say that you want to go from GE and you want to go up into Curse, right? Now, if your destination system was, say, 0SHT, which, by the way, don't go there. I heard there's a bunch of PL people living there right now. But let's say that, theoretically, we wanted to go there. To get there by jumps would take 3 jumps. Now, back in the day, nobody would care. But nowadays, that 3 jumps, if you want to do it quickly, that's going to be like, what, 15 hours of jump fatigue or something like that? Maybe not what you want to do. Actually, no, it's going to be about a day of jump fatigue. So, however, if you look at the map, you see that there's that nice big purple line. Took a little selfie of it. So basically what you can do is go from GE, jump to UQ dash or U-Q, what is that? Yeah, U-Q. Don't do that, by the way, because, again, PL lives there. And then from there, we can take a gate, and now we're in Curse. You guys see what I mean? You have to just kind of be aware that we are, in fact, living in a post-Phoebe world, and stuff is a little bit different. Another example is to actually jump straight out from, let's say, RNF, because you guys know why. To Sindaya, for whatever reason. Let's say you want to go there. Don't go to Sindaya. It's a sad place. So, you can get there, or even from GE to Sindaya. You can get there in like 6 jumps, and congratulations, now you're into Losec. But, first off, you have to jump into Providence space, which might not be the best idea, because they're probably not going to let you dock up there. And, second off, you just took 6 jumps and now you have massive jump fatigue. Don't do that. However, what you could do, in theory, is you could basically jump directly into Curse, and then from Curse jump literally 2 gates, and now you're in Sindaya. You guys get the point? You have to kind of be aware that, hey, we're in a new area, stuff's different. Any questions about anything up to this point? No, it's been a lot of different stuff. A lot of different talking about stuff. Come on, guys, you gotta have something.
Why is everyone so quiet? Jeez.
I
I
don't know.
try to survive. I cannot talk. Cannot rage.
Are you guys all shooting at each other or something right now?
Can guess who's shooting me?
Everybody?
Not everybody.
Alright, well, I'm undocking again, so hopefully maybe this time I won't die. I also turn my graphics up, so next time I can watch. Okay. Cool. So that's basically it on moving now. It's a little different. It's not as interesting as it used to be because, you know, if we did this about a month ago, I could have been like, oh, and I'll tell you all about flux coils and rapid movement, and we got to make sure that we have maximum, you know, cap all the time, and always bring extra fuel. And nowadays, it's kind of like, I mean, as long as you have a decent amount of fuel, you don't really got to do much. You don't even really need to worry about capping up for your next jump as much anymore. Like, you still want to cap up on land, but it's not like it used to be, where it was literally, you got to be fit properly so we can go. One of the last fleets I did before Phoebe hit, we went from basically about as far south as you can go to almost all the way up to the north, with subcaps, by the way, using Titan bridges. And it took us about 5 minutes to do it, because basically the Titan would bridge us, and then instantly jump and bridge, and then instantly jump and then bridge, and then instantly jump. Just all the way up there. Suffice to say, that's why they nerfed power projection, so that's why our super fun jumping ships are all nerfed to hell now. Let me pull up my little list. I'm actually blowing through stuff way faster than I did last time. I feel like I'm not rambling as much this time. Let's see. We did get the joy of dropping on somebody. I don't know. I think the difference between this time and last time is last time we had like 50 to 60 like just became cap pilots, and I think a lot of you guys are pretty veteran at it, aren't you?
I'm brand new personally.
Cool. Ask questions and dude, like anything. I don't care what. If you got any questions that I've something I haven't covered yet, something that I've said that's been brought up.
Yeah, I mean there was a couple I had asked earlier, but right now I'm good to go.
Okay.
I missed the bumping. I actually had this issue the other day, warping to a station and bounced off at about 30k.
So, basically, first off, so nowadays, if you're warping to a station or a, what do you call it? If you're warping to a station or a gate, you should probably dock as soon as you get on it, because there's a chance you'll get just chucked off. Some stations are more likely to have that happen than others, like this specific station that we're screwing around on. If you warp to it at 0, there's a pretty good chance you'll bump. Let's see. The way to stop it, like, you can't prevent a bump from happening. If it happens, it happens. That's just Eve. But you can sort of mitigate the bump from happening by basically, when you hit the place, you double click directly behind you, and it'll slow you down way faster than just stopping your ship. It'll slow you down about twice as fast. I know, crazy, right? And that's kind of the best way to prevent yourself from bumping, if you can. Like, I just bump really hard, which means I got cushioned by this other Archon, Mr. Heavy Hauler. He's bumping now. Have fun. And,
Braking.
Yeah. He's braking, though, and see, he's already slowed down like crazy.
Like a lot of bricks.
Mm-hmm.
That's so nice doing.
Yeah, so don't show that O&I, guys, the Omen Navy issue. Neckbeard No Life. He's got a beautiful name. Basically, he's in this group that's called No Fun, the corporation. It's one of the we only play on CC and don't do anything else ever groups in EVE. Literally, that's all they do is they play on CC. I wouldn't be surprised if he's trying to bait us into shooting him so he can report us and get us in trouble. Because they are very boring, scummy people. As an aside, that pos that I asked Jim to check earlier, that he linked the picture that it was like so bubbled that you literally couldn't see anything. Where is it? I'm trying to find it in the little chat log. Here we go. So that's one of my poses that they bubbled. As you can see, they put a lot of bubbles around it. What happened is for the past few days...
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. For the past few days, I've been dropping my nicks on them whenever they do their stupid little... The thing that we just did to those people, that's basically what they do. They just don't have as many people for it. You know, where you drop a bunch of caps and kill somebody and make them have no fun. So for the past few days, I've been dropping my nicks and killing, like, single dreads that they've had. They finally learned how to shield fit their dreads, and so they don't die anymore, but... You know. The point is they got really mad because yesterday they actually had a hic dictor ready for me. I think they watchlisted my Nyx pilot. And, like, I landed on field and I had a hic dictor on me within about 30 seconds. Like, they literally combat probed and warped it on top of me. Like, as I was aligning out, they had a hic dictor on me. So they tried to gank me. And as soon as he tackled me, they max dude CC'd. They actually do have a jabber, and they will ping if they tackle supers and titans on CC. Because...
Oh, wow. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you know, his name is Neckbeard No Life, so whatever. Not judging. Yeah, I am. But, unfortunately, they're kind of bad at this game, which is probably why they only play on CC.
So they're Pravi alts?
Yeah, or something. Well, they're actually ex-Goonswarm people. No, they're ex-Goonswarm pets. So that's my little bias thing that I'm gonna say is I don't like them. They're bad, CFC in general, but they're ex-FA members. Fatal Ascension. It's one of the Goonswarm pets, and all they do is they play on CC all day. And so they tackled me. They did their CTA. About 12, 15 people logged in. It was like 10 dreads and some other stuff, and like an Aeon and a Nyx. But unfortunately for them, they only had one Heretic, and I'm not terrible at this game, so I smart bombed their Heretic bubbles off field. The Heretic came back in, and I actually tackled it and killed it with my Nyx.
Squana, that's not a nullsec Moros.
Yeah. So... tackled it, killed him with my Nyx, and I literally like overheated my webs on him and held him in his own bubble so he couldn't go reship, and then warped out. I warped out to that POS. In retaliation, they took their Dread fleet, warped it onto the POS, and started reinforcing it, but I had the POS set up as like a massive dick star that would be really, really hard to kill. So I signed it out as soon as I saw them there, because I was like, okay, whatever, guys, have fun. And they were stuck there for an hour and a half killing the POS. So their CCCTA to go kill a Nyx turned into a CCCTA to go reinforce a POS. Apparently they were mad about it, and they covered it in bubbles. So just so you know, guys, people take this very, very seriously sometimes. Yeah. Needless to say, I may or may not have done a little bit of shit-talking at them at the time, which wasn't very classy of me, but, I mean, come on. You literally pinged a bunch of dudes to come log in to bash a POS for an hour and a half. Like...
Here.
On CC.
On CC, yeah. On live, it doesn't even make sense. Like, that's ridiculous on live. I wouldn't want to bash a POS for an hour and a half. I guess I am talking to people in Brave, so...
It's
Okay, but...
Dual Atron bash passes, I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, I granted, I did sort of FC something that was like, herder everybody, we're gonna go bash this station with 15 MOAs. Turns out it takes 15 MOAs a really long time to bash a station.
But
Yeah.
how about walk us through how to refit a dread properly? So you get a primary. What do you refit first?
Cool. Okay, everybody make sure you're kind of close to an Archon, including Archons, make sure you're close to an Archon. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pick somebody at random, and I'm going to shoot them, and I'm going to do enough damage to you that if you don't refit, you're going to die. Unless you're an Archon, in which case you can remote rep each other. I'll do that in a bit, so give me a second. There's sort of... So the first thing to do as a cat pilot, if you see that little tiny E button, the options right below your capacitor thing, link a little picture in it, it's cute. There you go. So you click that, and it'll open it up, and what you need to do is select it the way I have it set.
Show empty
Now,
slots, or?
Yeah, you need show empty slots, and you also need display passive modules. Now, this is going to be kind of annoying, but you're going to get used to it, especially on not capital ships. But on capital ships, one of the biggest cool things about capital ships is that they have, what do you call it? The ability to refit. It's like a really well-known thing, because you're going to live long enough in most cases, unless, you know, as you guys see, if a Titan shows up, it's kind of like, oh, well, shit, there I go. But even then you can kind of prepare. You can live long enough to refit. Now, there's two ways of refitting. You can use the fitting screen and literally refit in space like you would in a station, which is an okay way, but what I would suggest doing is what's kind of called like quick refitting, combat refitting, speed refitting, whatever people want to say. And basically what you do is, if you guys notice, especially if you have your stuff ready, and you click and drag one of your modules, which I will show in a second on the stream. I just got to get this pause set up right. Let me switch it over to the right monitor. Boom. So basically, what you do is you'll click and drag. Like, you can select the modules. You don't want to click single time, especially if it's an active module, because that'll just turn it on. You can click and drag the module, and just open up your inventory and drag it straight into your inventory, and just click and drag and drop. It's real quick. It takes a little bit less time, in my opinion, because you don't actually have to open up the fitting window. And then you can do the exact same thing. You can drag and drop into your spots. However you want to do it, that's totally up to you.
No.
I personally suggest doing it the way I said, because I feel it's a little bit faster than actually like opening up the fitting window and being like, okay, I gotta do this, and then all that stuff. Especially because the fitting window is kind of laggy to turn on. This way you can just do it really quickly, in and out.
Also, it's on a much smaller space to do it, so it's easier to click in the right space.
Yep. And you can do this with anything. I've noticed that capital mods actually will often not let you refit. I don't know why.
Or, like, out of your fleet hangar.
You can refit out of your fleet hangar. Yeah, you can absolutely refit out of your fleet hangar, but you can take capital mods off, but sometimes they will have trouble being put on. Now, for dreads, you don't have to worry about this, because there's like at 0 point in time you'll ever take your capital mod off, mostly because you can't actually fit it in your ship. But for carriers, this is something to definitely be aware of. So now, if your question is like, well, that's cool, but why do I actually need to do this? So the fit you have right now as a dreadnought, they can tank about 5 to 7 k DPS. That's a lot.
Dirk's fit for J-Space, shoot him.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. He brought his shield bonus in.
See, that's no fun, though. I want somebody that I can shoot that actually is going to have to refit, or they're going to get killed. So the reason why is because if you refit, you can actually tank stuff. If you don't refit, there's a pretty good chance that you won't be able to tank stuff. Put in perspective, most of your dreads, I don't know what your guys' skills are at. I would suggest, just as an aside, train your dreadnought skill to level 4, train your dreadnought gun skill to level 4, train all your gunnery supports to level 5. Seriously, I know that sounds crazy because some of them, like Surgical Strike, are 20 days. And also train your... I would try and get T2 Siege as soon as possible, because T2 Siege is like a 15% damage increase. But if you have T2 Siege and Dreads 4, Guns 4, and Supports 5, you're probably going to be doing about 9k to 10k DPS with the fit that everybody's stunning. Maybe a little less, maybe more like 8. Just depends on stuff. Moros is probably going to be doing more like 10 or 11. Well, if your ship can only tank 5, and you're being shot by Dread, it's doing 10, that's not a good place to be in. Now, in general, like the number of Dreads we have on field right now, ain't nothing going to tank that. Like we have, what do we have? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 Dreads. Okay, so you could actually tank that maybe with a super pimp fit shield Naglfar that costs 9 billion ISK and is in a wormhole. But you're going to tank it for like a minute before you burn all your mods out and die. So the amount of Dreads we have on now, you'll still die, but you'll survive longer. And you need to remember that your HP is technically part of everybody's effective HP, because the longer they're shooting you, the less time they spend shooting someone else. So remember, you're taking one for the team. Now, I'm not max damage fit because apparently I don't have Carrier 5 on CC. I don't know why. So I only do about 12k DPS in this thing, as opposed to doing like 15. But what I am going to do is I'm going to pick a random person, and I'm going to chuck fighter bombers at you. And your job is to refit before you die. It's pretty easy. You shouldn't have any problems whatsoever. Hopefully you will be in the spirit of things and be properly fit, or not be refit already, because that's just lame. If you refit full tank, you shouldn't have a problem tanking this if you're actually using a cap mod, or a capital armor repair. So, it's really quick to refit. Honestly, you'll probably be able to get it done before you even start taking damage. And this will also give you a little example of like super damage. How hard they hit. Because they hit pretty hard. But, in reality, they don't really hit that much harder than Dreads. So I'm hitting Miro right now, if you guys want to look him up. Please don't shoot him, I'm broadcasting. I'm also being shot at by sentry guns, it's very sad. Miro hasn't refit yet, I don't think.
No, not yet.
Can you actually run the rep on that thing?
Should.
I mean, like, are you able to, skill-wise, run the rep on that thing?
Of course.
Is he lagging out? Or is that me?
He's running it.
Oh, okay.
Guys? Still there?
Yeah, he sounded
Can't really
kinda,
hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, you're breaking up a bit.
Mumble.
Okay.
Oh, he just refit to tank, and I can tell because now I'm doing significantly less damage to him.
Is this with siege or without?
I hope he's sieged. You need to be sieged for this, because siege doubles, it actually, I think it triples your tank effectiveness, because it's like 75% more rep, and then 75%, and then I think it's a double cycle time, or half the cycle time, and 75% more rep per cycle. And there we go, now he's tank fit. Yeah, so he's basically max tank fit right now, and I don't think he's going to have any trouble tanking me at this point. Because before...
How long, I think?
yeah, you'd probably be fine.